Judaism, Christianity, Islam, they're all fucking retarded. They're based on these monotheistic mythologies that are easily just made to look goofy silly by history and science. They're completely disproven, as much as you can disprove a negative. As much as you could prove that leprechauns and unicorns aren't real, you could prove that Noah's Ark and the story of Samson and people walking on water and all the animal sacrifice, all that stuff, it just didn't happen. Well, they killed animals, but these stories are just, they're just as fucking dumb as the Greek mythologies or the Roman mythologies or your Norse mythologies. It's stupid. And people base their whole lives on this, and they even try and derive their morals on this. I mean, the Jewish God is the ultimate king of genocide. I mean, one of their glorious stories is Noah's Ark, where their God flooded the earth and killed 99.99% of all life on it. And that was seen as a great thing. They had a nice little rainbow, and his family came out of the ark with, you know, the few animals they saved, like 7 of all the clean and 2 of all the rest of them. And that was that. Now, one, that if anyone can believe in that literally under any other context than religion, that is total insanity. You're either insane or you have like the IQ of 12. Then once you believe in that bullshit, to think that that bullshit is moral or great is sick. To think that, yeah, well, genocide's okay because God's just killing the stuff he made to begin with. But what a spastic piece of shit. Oh, that he gets mad that, you know, people weren't worshiping the way he wanted them to worship him. So he'll just kill them all, as well as everything else on the planet. What good can you get out of that story? That just wipe everyone out who you don't like and start with your pure race of people with one family, with God's chosen man, just like God's chosen race? I mean, the whole religion is just chock full of xenophobia, bigotry, every prejudice of every kind. That's Judaism, and there's just no way around it. And even the nice Jews, that it's like, well, we're a religion of peace and blah, blah, blah. No, you're not. You have excluded the rest of the world. The Jewish religion, even in its most peaceful form, still divides up the entire world between Jews and Gentiles. Them and then everybody else who isn't them. It's exclusive. I mean, you can't even tell the difference now. You have to like explain with full sentences the difference between someone who's Jewish that just believes in Moses and all that bullshit, and someone who's Jewish just meaning their parents were Jewish and they're ethnically Jewish, but they might be an atheist or a Christian or whatever. They could have converted to another religion or something. It's the only religion that has to do that. You know, Christians, anybody can be Christian, anybody can be Muslim, anybody can be any other kind of religion. But with Judaism, you've got to be Jewish to be Jewish. You got to be a Hebrew or Ashkenazi or whatever. You got to be one. And that's the other thing. This religion of divine origins doesn't even have a single origin. Like, even if the bullshit was true, 90% of the people claiming to be Jewish don't have any Hebrew ancestry. They're coming straight out of Europe and all these other places. Not like that matters. It doesn't make it any better. The whole religion is stupid. It purports the divine right of kings as its form of government. They have King David and Solomon and Saul and all these kings. They don't talk about voting or anything like that. It's got a lot of animal sacrifice, a bunch of conquests of the Jews killing the Mennonites and the Benjamins and all these different people, and how great it was. And when they got their ass kicked a few times, they just blamed that on not being subservient enough to their war god. I mean, who the fuck supports stuff like that? And how could a whole group of people base their identity around a book full of them slaughtering a bunch of other people? I mean, that's sick. And the Christianity's sick because the majority of their whole religious text is the Old Testament, which is just Judaism, the first 7 books. They don't even have their own creation story or anything. All they did was Romans said, let's copy this politically powerful monotheistic faith and make it open for all people. And they took the Mithra/Dionysus sacrifice story, made a Jesus figure, and then through him opened up the same exact fucking religion to everyone else. The only difference between the two religions is one has Jesus Christ and he died and allowed anyone to be Jewish rather than just the Hebrews. That's the only real difference. They got the same afterlife, they got the same creation story, and they got the same bullshit all in between. And then Islam ends up being a spin-off of Christianity. And they don't even know that. I mean, they're all Abrahamic faiths, but none of the 3 realize that they're all the same goddamn religion. They all have the same devil. I mean, you couldn't even tell the difference between the gods and the devils if it weren't for their names. If you judge it just based on their actions, like who was giving plagues and who was killing people and flooding this and blowing up this town and burning these people, and man, God, the devil, I'd actually say the devil does less harm than God. I mean, the devil, the most he usually tries to do is tempt the gods and tells man the truth now and then. I mean, you don't even need a devil in the Jewish religion. I mean, God is evil enough that you don't need another figure to be evil, because how could you really, what could he possibly do worse than what God does? All the mass genocide and the weird punishments he comes up with sometimes, the plagues and covering places with frogs, and what's wrong with people? This isn't like 12 BC. This is almost 2008, and people still believe in this just absolute bullshit. It's so contrary to history, and it's so contrary to everything scientific. And they want to hold those truth conditions up for like everything else, for math, for science, for anything that they need in their life. But when it comes to religion, then it doesn't matter all of a sudden. It's just true because they were told it was when they were a really little kid, and then they scared the shit out of them, and they protect it for their own psychological purposes. Religion is fucking stupid.